Hey guys, Akil Stokes here. Welcome back to another episode of the Trading Coach Podcast. Today I want to share with you a very special interview with a good long-term trading buddy of mine, Michael Lamothe. In today's episode, he's going to talk to us about trading goals and also trading traps. If you want to hear more from Michael, you can follow him on social media. I'll put his social media handle underneath in the show notes. You can also visit his website, www.marawealth.com. That's www.marawealth.com. I guess we can start off things by just, I've known you for many years, but if you want to introduce yourself to our listeners, tell them a little bit about who you are, what you do, and where you got to where you're at now.
Sure. Well, first off, thanks again, Akil, for having me on the show. So I've been trading now for a real long time. I've been trading for over 20 years. The first 10 were very challenging, not successful at all. Typical boom bust, making every kind of mistake that one could possibly imagine. The thing that finally changed after the 10th year was getting around other people that were doing similar to what I was attempting to do on my own. I found a book called How to Make Money in Stocks, written by a man named William O'Neill, pretty famous guy in the growth investing space. Read his book, studied it like a textbook, and at first I tried to do everything like it was a cookbook. Found out the hard way that that does not work too well. And then when I finally found the other people that were also studying his work and was able to get some feedback from that group, that's when things finally started to turn the corner for me. I started to adopt some of the right mindsets. I started to figure out how to customize it for myself, because in this group, we had a hedge fund manager, we had a few full-time traders, we had people like me that were just starting out and had separate full-time jobs. So I studied from those guys, learned a lot from them, and then figured out ways to boil down what they were teaching and make it work for me while I still had this full-time job. And inside a year, I became profitable, had my first profitable year, built on that success, and I was able to leave the corporate world behind before I turned 40.
Very nice, very nice. I love what you said about the customizable part. I love the community and that part is too, but it's interesting because every successful trader I've spoken to, really every successful trader that I've known, seems to adapt that same approach where it's not a cookie cutter system where I find something, I just do it exactly the way it is in a book like a robot. It really is, you have these ideas, you kind of make it your own, you filter around with it, you play around with it until you can kind of get it the way that makes it work for you. And do you feel like that's something that is necessary for every trader? Is it possible to trade a quote unquote cookie cutter system, or do you need to kind of make it your own if you want to see long-term success?
Everybody that I've met that has had long-term success has adapted any kind of system in some way, shape, or form. Even in my own group, there's people that will had trade intermediate term. There's some people that will day trade, but we're all kind of looking at the same things. We all have the same general philosophies, risk management, what have you. I think that there are stages to when somebody should look to customize versus when they should look to learn and just be like, okay, I'm going to take whatever this course, whatever this person is telling me, and try to do it exactly in this way. And then later on, the customizing process comes. I think it was Picasso that said that first you need to learn the rules, and then you can learn how to break the rules. It's the works in art, works in trading.
Yeah, you're dead on. I'm a big sports guy, so always I think of it like a quarterback in football or any type of player. When you're new, when you're a rookie, you kind of go in and you do exactly what your coach tells you. Your coach is like, hey, you do this, and you go in there and you only do that because you don't really have the experience to kind of do anything else. But as you learn over the years, you develop more flexibility where now, let's say you're a quarterback, now you can start audibling and changing plays, or let's say you're maybe a midfielder in soccer, you can start roaming the pitch and playing more of a free position. I think that's 100% correct in trading too, where we need to start off very strict, and then we kind of I like to say earn your intuition. We earn that ability to be more flexible, to kind of create and adjust once we have that experience to do so. So I love that.
Yeah, totally.
I love that. So we're at the beginning of a new year.
Yes.
20 plus years for you. I thought I was old, going on 16 or 17, whatever I am. So this is one of the rare interviews where I feel like the young guy again. So thank you.
Hey, you've had more successful years than I have, though.
There we go. We're just counting total years. Come on, give me that. So with the new year, and this is always a very dangerous time for traders out there. It's also a time where we can, at least feel like we're starting fresh and whatnot. What are some goals that you have for yourself, and maybe what are some goals that you think traders should have for them?
All right, great. So, excellent question. So, some of the goals that I have for myself, I am a results-based. I work off of results. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to come up with a better way to track results and incorporate results into how I'm going to manage my trade. So here's what I'm doing. I'm looking at my results on a monthly basis. I'm looking at my average gains, average losses, my high watermarks. Average high watermark, it's for those that don't know what a high watermark in a trade is, that's what I'm considering when I'm in a trade. I'm actively managing that trade. So where I sell is not going to be the highest point in the trade or the lowest point. It's somewhere in the middle. But I also want to track the high watermark of the trade, because my goal, I actually have 3 goals when I'm trading. The first part is get my risk off the table as quickly as possible. Once I get my risk off the table as quickly as possible, then the next goal kicks in. The next goal for the trade is I want to get to my average gain. And some trades will get there, some trades won't. And the third goal is I want, provided that the second goal is achieved, then I want to get to my high watermark, and for that high watermark to continue going. Some market conditions are conducive to raising the high watermark. Some will give you low tide. So the way to perform better is to understand your market environment and the market environment for your system, and the way that you're going to know that is by actively trading these results. If you're actively trading these results, then you could make real-time adjustments to say, hey, you know what? My average gain is normally, say, 10% per trade. Actually, my average gain is only about 7%, so maybe I should be taking my gains quicker, and then that will increase my equity curve. So that's what I'm doing this year.
I love that. I had my first experience back in, I want to say maybe 2014, but it was I think it was a low volatility time in the market, and my first time really experiencing it. And it made me realize, I learned the hard way about the same thing, about there are high tides, there are low tides, there are different market conditions. And long-lasting success in trading doesn't just come from a magic system or a magic strategy that you do exactly the same way every single time, but it comes from the trader having that skill, being able to track trades, track results, make observations, and make those necessary adjustments during those different market conditions. So I think that is brilliant. Now, let's put you back in the shoes of a newer trader. Let's say you're someone that is maybe either just getting into trading, or maybe you've been trying for a little bit but haven't seen the success that you want. What are some goals that you would set for yourself as newer trader, Mike?
Excellent question, and I think that in setting goals, I think that setting goals is important, and I also think that there's some traps to highlight in setting goals as well. So the way that I like to think about goals is I like to write out all my goals for not just for the year, but like 5-year, 10-year lot. Like, just come up with an absolute vision plan, mind dump, get all this stuff out there, and then from there try to figure out, well, where should I start? Well, what am I going to work on first? Because the first trap is you could be overwhelmed by a list of goals. And if you don't have actionable steps for your goals, then it's just a wish list. And that happens to a lot of people right out of the gate. And I'm hoping that we're able to help people sidestep that trap and can actually start taking action and achieve some real results. So once you have your list of goals, what I would start to figure out is what's the 4 most important goals that I could begin working on immediately and start taking action on. And you could fall into a trap with this too, because let's say that your goal is a lot broader. Let's say that your goal is, I don't know, I want to make a certain percentage amount this year. Well, what are some other goals on that list that will help support that goal? That's how I go about figuring out which goals I want to start attacking first. The ones that will give me the most leverage on attaining some of the other goals on the list. I feel as though skill development is one of the most important things that a trader could do, especially early on in their journey. There's a variety of skills that traders need to develop. I actually just finished a book on this very topic. The book is coming out in April. It's going to be called The Trading Mind Wheel, and there are, like I said, 8 core skills that people need to develop. At the center of it all is mindset. Our beliefs control our actions, and therefore understanding what our beliefs are is step number 1.
I love that. I love what you said about the goals, and just my style of thinking is the same way. I just throw as much as I can out there and then see what sticks. But I think, like you said, a big thing that a lot of people have is they're good at creating the goals, but they think that, that's it. The work has been done. I've put all these goals out there. I've told myself what I want to achieve, and now it's going to happen. Where the truth is, like, you have to make it happen. And then the truth even beneath this is that, like you said, you've got to find out what are the things I can do right away, and what's going to allow me to do those next goals. And I like that you said skill, whether that's, there's different versions of skills, like you said, but if you don't have that foundation to stand on, it's going to be very hard to achieve anything else that you want to. So I'm glad you brought those traps up, because that is something that a lot of traders fall into. Would you say that you see a lot of traders rush into the process of trading? Is that something that you deal with on a regular basis?
Yeah, I think a lot of people, when they first find out about trading, they think that trading and analysis are synonymous. So if I learn how to analyze a trade, whether it's based on a chart, whether it's based on fundamentals, well, whatever, they think that that's 90% of what trading is. And in reality, analysis is important, but it's the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot of things that are very important with trading. Like, aside from what I mentioned before with mindset, of course there's risk management, trade management, things like that. I think that one of the most underrated skills of all is journaling, right? Because journaling's freaking boring, right? Like, who wants to sit there with spreadsheets? Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be sitting here writing all this shit down. Like, no, like, it's the most underrated skill and underutilized skill, and it's sad because journaling well is the thing that's going to help people perform better and grow. That also accompanied with post-analysis, and I would say that testing goes hand in hand with all these things, and this is how the skills kind of build on one another too.
Yeah, journaling, like I said, it's, I remember my mentor told me the same thing when I first started. He said, you got to journal. And I'm like, I'm not journaling. Like, this is stupid. Like, it's a waste of time. Like, Dear Diary, all that stuff. And journaling ended up being the most important thing that I ended up doing, because in trading, right, especially if we're independent retail traders, right, we don't have a supervisor, we don't have a boss, we don't have a floor manager staring over our back and kind of pulling us into a room saying, hey, this is what you did well, this is what you didn't do well. There's no one to judge us but the person in the mirror. So if we're not journaling, how are we reflecting? How are we judging ourselves? How do we know if we're doing well? How are we keeping tracks of things that may help us in the future? It's underrated. It's boring. No one likes doing it until you realize how how important it really is.
Right. It's like eating your vegetables.
Oh yeah.
You got to do it.
Funny.
You want to be fit and healthy. You have to go out and exercise. Right. Like whether you like it or not, like that's it's simple. We all know that we need to do it, but you actually have to go out there and do it. And any amount of reading, you could read about push-ups all day until you actually do the push-ups, you're not going to get the result.
It's funny, I was just working on, one of my winter projects was working on this, I did this nutrition presentation, and it talked about, all the, very similar to trading, because it talks about all the fads that are out there where it's like, hey, try this super quick diet, try that diet, lose weight by doing this, just like trading, right? Here's this magic system and this quick fix, and how, just like in trading, all right, do you really think that quick fix is going to work? Like, it's the same time and tested skills that are going to give you success in trading as they always were. Nothing has changed. Just like you said with, working out and eating the right way, right? If you want to change change the way you look, you want to change your health, start eating better, start working out. Like it doesn't even really matter the specifics of this diet, that diet, do those core things. And trading mindset, skill, like there are a handful, I know you mentioned 8 principles. There's a handful of principles out there that I think if traders just do it and commit time to doing it, they'll start seeing success, and then they'll start reaching that next level where they're now creative and they can start getting to that next level of success. That's really good.
Absolutely.
What are, we talked about some of the traps, and you spoke a little bit about ways out of it. I guess if you put yourself in a position of a trader who is kind of stuck, or maybe you fell into this trap, or you're close to falling into this trap of doing the wrong things, is there anything specifically that you would tell yourself to kind of get out of it, start working your way out of it and getting on the road to success?
So doing the wrong things, that could go in a lot of different directions. I think that one of the most important things that people could do is what we mentioned earlier, is build their environment. Right, because if you are doing, let's say I'm a brand new trader, I'm doing a bunch of wrong things, and I'm by myself. I have nothing to compare it to other than maybe staring at my P&L, right? And like, oh, look, I'm up for the last 20 minutes. Great. But if I'm around other people that know what they're doing, then I'm in a much better position to say, hey, I'm doing X, all these other people are doing Y, how are my results relative to them? And then I could start bouncing ideas off of these people. Hopefully, you're around people that know what the hell they're doing, because there's a lot of people out there that don't and will try to pretend like they do. So that presents another problem. How do you know who's legit and who isn't, right? When it comes to social media, the thing that I tell people is look at the free stuff they're putting out.
Yeah.
Really, if people are putting out free value and you find that content to be valuable, then there's your first litmus test, right? But if somebody's just putting out, look at my X, right? They're just showing lifestyle. Sure, you could have lifestyle pics, but that doesn't mean that you know what you're doing. That just means that you know how to work a camera or hire a photographer.
It's true. It's fluff if you think about it, and it sucks that people are being sold this stuff and that people are falling for it. But it's like you said, like I'd much rather come on and hear someone talk about trading psychology or give me something on technical analysis or share a story about their journey than just show me, hey, car, tiger, gold chains. Because at the end of the day, like if my goal is to surf social media to help my trading, how is that actually helping my trading? How is seeing kind of a screenshot of whatever random trades you pretended to cherry pick, how is that actually helping my trading? But again, a lot of people come in with the wrong mindset, and I know that's been, I know that's been my goal over the years. I know you've done a great job of doing that as well, is kind of shifting the mindset of telling people, hey, here's what's important, here's what's not important. And unfortunately, the important stuff isn't the sexy stuff. It isn't going to sell. It isn't going to get the most views or the most clicks. But it's going to put you in position to be a consistently profitable trader and potentially change your life. And I don't know about you, but I'd much rather have the latter than, be broke but be able to take pictures with rented cars and stuff like that.
Right, exactly. So
yeah, so that's a tough trap. What about, I guess, going off the community topic? So traders out there, they're new. They go about trying to find a community, find like-minded individuals. I know a lot of traders have this question. What's the next step? Now that you've found someone, how do you approach them? How do you sponge off of them? How do you get sort of that coaching, that mentorship? How do you get into that community where you're I guess, you have the ability to learn off of others? And I know it's going to be different depending on different situations, but imagine you're a trader out there that maybe doesn't have the resources to spend $1 million on a mastermind group or something like that. What are the cheaper or freer options that a newer trader can use to kind of learn and get the ball rolling?
Yeah, that's an interesting question too. Your social media, the way that I look at our environment too, like it's more than just the four walls around us. It's everything that we're feeding our mind. So if I'm a new trader, and let's say that my budget is 0, and I want to start feeding my mind and getting around other people, then what I would do is to start consuming their content and curating my feed, right? Because if I'm curating my feed, whether it's Twitter, whether it's stock twits, Instagram, whatever, I can curate my feed. I could select who I follow, and I could block out a lot of the noise. And blocking out noise is very important, and curating our environment is very important too. So I'm consuming content from X, Y, and Z people. A lot of the people that are putting out educational content they want to help you. I want to help. You want to help. Jason wants to help, right? Also over at Tier 1. Well, we genuinely want to help. We've walked the path. We want to help. So just dropping comments or asking questions as you have questions is a great way to start that engagement. You could try to think of ways to add value to a conversation too. Like if you see somebody's feed and the comment section, you could, if you're asking smart questions, then that's helping out so many other people too. It's something that I speak about a lot, even inside my own Discord group, because oftentimes if you ask a question, then you are a lot of people don't have the courage to necessarily ask the question themselves. So you're doing everybody in the room a favor, including the teacher, because it helps them think of something in a way that they may not have thought about it before. And so that it's definitely a two-way street when it comes to asking and answering questions.
I couldn't agree more with that. You can't be afraid to ask the question, because think about it like this. What you didn't know the answer going in. If you don't ask it, you have zero chance at getting the answer. If you ask it, at least you have some chance. And if you're in the right community, you probably have a good chance of getting it answered. And from the coaching perspective, like dealing with, and I'm sure you feel this as well, working with however many traders we've worked with, and we hear repeat questions all the time, because generally there are only a certain amount of, really areas that need to be addressed. But having the ability to explain it differently to different people, because we all learn differently, helps us massively. Because although in my head I'm like, oh yeah, just do this. If they're not getting it, I gotta, okay, how can I explain this in a different way or a different situation? So it does help all parties involved. So, I like that. I love what you said about curating the feed. A lot of people bash social media. And yeah, social media could be horrible, but social media is also what we create it to be. So I'm like you, like people are like, oh, Twitter is this and Instagram is that. My Twitter feed is amazing because I only follow people that give me what I want to hear. Like I don't follow anything else. So it's, as a trader and an investor, right? It's perfect because it's curated directly with valuable stuff for me. So that makes social media a blessing. Same thing whether it's Facebook or whatever like else. I just don't pay attention to any of the other stuff. So don't make that excuse that social media is bad. Curate it. Follow the people that are bringing value to you. Create those lists and clog your feed with positivity, and I think you'll start seeing a big difference in how you see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, before I let you go, I want to give you some time to shamelessly promote. You mentioned it already, but you got a book coming out. You want to give our listeners a little info about what they can expect and when they can expect it?
Sure. So The Trading Mind Wheel is a book that I've been working on for a couple of years. It goes through my personal journey. It goes through the journey of some of the people that I've coached throughout the years. And it walks you through the various skills required for trading mastery and the mindsets that are associated with it. That book, The Trading Mind Wheel, will be out in April. But to give people a head start, what I've created is a free tool. It's on my website. It's called the Trading Mind Decoder, and the website that you could get it at is MaraWealth.com. Well, what this is, it's 9 questions that we curated. Einstein is quoted as saying that if given a problem to solve, he would spend the first 55 minutes coming up with the right questions to ask and the last 5 minutes answering those questions. So to help people out, to give you a jump start, I've curated 9 questions that you could ask and answer for yourself that will help you gain clarity on your goals, that will help you dig into your beliefs, see which beliefs are helping you move closer to your goals, which ones are not, start to identify where these beliefs even came from. And once you get into alignment with your goals, then it's almost like your beliefs are the engine that will get you to your destination. So grab the Trading Mind Decoder. It's free. It's on MaraWealth.com, and it'll help you a lot.
Great, perfect. And if people want to see more of you on social media, where can they find you at?
Everywhere it's the same handle, at Michael G. Lamothe. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, StockTwits. Those are the largest channels to find me on social.
Awesome. Well, it was a pleasure talking to you, Mike. We're gonna meet up again, right? I'm gonna do some stuff for your book closer to the release date. So, I'm pretty sure we can have you back on. Maybe even bring you in, maybe for a Q&A or something like that after people get a chance to do the decoder or get a chance to pop open the book. But a pleasure for you being here. Anything else you'd like to add before I let you go? It's only my second interview here on the Trading Coach Podcast, so I'm not fine-tuned with this. Yeah, you're number 2.
It's an honor. Totally honored. It's always great chatting with you. Last words to everybody, especially if you're new, don't give up. Every champion trader started out exactly where you were. We all started out as beginners. The only difference between championship level and a beginner is the championship person never quit.
Yep.
So don't quit, don't give up, get the help that you need. Akil is here, I'm here, and yeah, that's it.
Perfect. Well, pleasure having you on. We'll talk as usual, and can't wait to have you on again.
All right, take care, everybody.
Hey,
Thanks again, Akil.
Hope you guys enjoyed the interview. Remember, keep an eye out for Michael's new book coming out early this year. Trust me, I got a chance to check it out, and it's really good. Also, make sure to head over to his website, www.marawealth.com. That's www.marawealth.com to check out the free gift that he mentioned in this podcast.